Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over the Tesla changes, I guess, for the week, as it's been quite a week, let's just say that. We'll go over what we've seen so far, what we can expect moving forward into next week, which should be a fun week as well, as it usually is with Tesla stock. But again, with all that being said and done, let's just jump into it. By the way, you can see obviously behind me, my wall is naked now, essentially. I am in the process of moving. That's why this video is late. And there is a possibility Monday will either be no video or late as this one is as well. But with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, make your own decisions. But let's just jump into it. Tesla closing the day up 1.28%, putting us just over $165 per share, which is not too shabby. A little bit of a dead cat bounce so far, but the question is, where do we go next from here? Is there still a bit more upside left? Is the dead cat bounce done? And essentially, what's next? So let's discuss that, right? So all in all, like I said before, I do personally believe that the downtrend for Tesla is not really over just yet. I personally wouldn't be surprised if, even after what I do believe is actually going to be, excuse me, a dead cat bounce coming up, probably like next week or something like that. That wouldn't completely shock me. It doesn't have to be like right away, but I do believe that next week should overall be a bit of a rally week for the most part. But that really depends on SPY. Like I said before, SPY is kind of teetering on some pretty dangerous situations here, or levels here. As you can see, it is pretty much bouncing almost exactly off the bottom line of this trend line, right? And again, I bring this up because if SPY were to find a way to break down from this trend, right? Of course, as usual, even if it does break down, it's pretty common for it to come back up to retest and then make its way down. But, so that will, of course, affect Tesla. But if I had to look only at Tesla and take a wild guess, right? The daily candle is a pretty nice looking daily candle. And I say that because it is, I forgot the exact name. I always forget the names of each candle. I just know what they look like and know what they mean. I just forget the actual literal name for it. But regardless, this is a pretty nice looking candle, bullish candle, potential reversal candle for more than one reason. First and foremost, we are arguably trading, at least we today traded within the overall parameters of yesterday's candle, which is not bad. That's usually, an okay sign of a reversal. On top of that, we also have a candle where the actual width of the candle itself, or I guess the height, if you will, of the literal candle itself, the thickness of it, you can see, is not very thick whatsoever. In other words, we did pretty much close similar to where we overall opened the day at as well, because we opened the day at right here at 164.8 essentially, and we closed at 165.08, right? Very, very close. So it's a very thin candle, yet another sign of a potential reversal. These kind of candles are usually also kinds of reversal signals. In this case, of course, we are obviously in a downtrend off after earnings. So this to me signals the fact that, Tesla is either going to be consolidating or potentially even actually getting a bit of a rally from here. So we'll see what that actually comes into and, what actually happens of that. But again, I personally would be surprised if we go pretty much lower than the low we already set after earnings, which was Thursday, right? It would shock me if we right away go below this kind of 160, 161-ish level. And I do believe that there is a possibility we come down and retest this level one more time. For instance, we go something like this, right? But I personally do believe that regardless if we do this or if we kind of go a little bit down or even just straight up, I do believe overall the trend should be, again, extremely short term. I want to make this very clear, guys, very short term, literally just potentially even just next week. I do believe the trend should be a bit up for now. And we essentially create a dead cat bounce and we kind of go from there. I personally will be expecting something like that. So I really want to see where we kind of potentially how much farther we go from here before getting it. But again, even if we come down all the way to 160, I'd personally be quite surprised if we break through and go even lower right away. I personally think it will take a bit more time before we do something like that. So that's the main thing I am personally waiting for. So that's overall my kind of main perspective, right? Another question, of course, is, well, okay, so let's say we do get a bounce here. Where do we go from that bounce, right? Like how far can we expect this bounce to go? So in other words, what you can do is maybe go on the 2 hour, get an idea as to this current swing high, right? So you can argue the fact that after this bounce, we came up to here. You can argue this was a swing high. So if you want to take this one as a swing high, from here to here, you obviously measure it. And, we can potentially go, best case scenario will be 180. That's definitely a possibility, but that's like the best case scenario, 180. But more likely than not, probably somewhere between 172 to 176. But that's assuming you take this level. Or you can argue that this is the swing high all the way up here before we truly started this downtrend. In that case, in my opinion, the best case scenario will be anywhere between 178 to 184. I personally like this one a little bit more. This to me makes a bit more sense. So I will personally be eyeballing somewhere into the 170s, and best case scenario would be the 180s, or literally 180. I doubt we'll go into the 180s. Maybe it'll just, temporarily, but I can't imagine us actually retracing back to 180 and suddenly rallying back up. That would be quite shocking, in all honesty. I don't expect that to happen whatsoever, but a rally somewhere along the lines of from this overall area down here, somewhere around this area area here. And then I do think we will actually go even lower after that. And then ultimately make our way to this kind of gap fill-ish area, somewhere around this kind of 155 to 145-ish region. And that is where I'm hoping the bottom is in. And that's where I hope that Tesla can actually get a reversal. And this drawdown will most likely be the drawdown that is probably at this point quite imminent, in my opinion, on SPY, which will most likely, from this little rally over here, make its way back and down. Now, a lot of people are expecting a massive crash. A lot of people are expecting SPY to go to like 320 and whatnot. People are expecting Tesla to go pretty much sub 100. I personally don't think that'll happen. You never know. Of course, I want to make it very clear. This is all speculation as technical analysis is. It's just purely speculation and educated guessing, essentially, right? I don't know for sure, right? But I don't think we'll go that low, right? And for Tesla specifically to really truly hold in a very important and crucial level that we've talked about several times before, to really truly hold this potential reversal, which I personally think Tesla has begun ever since it broke 200 up here, would be, again, like I talked about, to at the very least, we're actually bouncing at the moment off of the 0.5 level, which is pretty much 160. So this is technically option one. I personally think we'll come down to 146-ish level, and that's going to be the bottom. But there is technically a possibility that 160 is actually the bottom. I just don't think it is, mainly because the way SPY is looking. It really looks like this thing is about to, collapse pretty aggressively, which in that case, in theory, of course, would put pressure on Tesla, which will, in my opinion, bring it down to about that 145-ish level. So, but as long as 160 or even 145, as long as one of those two levels holds and we don't go much lower at all below that, that's important to me, because that to me signals the fact that this is truly a reversal. This overall, new swing high that we set here, which broke this swing high of 200 over here, is truly the reversal that we want to be seeing as a bull at least, and that will be fantastic news. And if Tesla does hold this level, that is very bullish to me, right? Very, very bullish for a very strong reversal from here to move up even higher than these levels here. Of course, it'll take time. It's not going to happen right away. It's probably going to take several months, in all honesty. But with that being said, that's kind of what I'm personally eyeballing at the very moment. So we'll see, of course, even, unless maybe Elon starts selling again, even though he said he's not, that could completely destroy this, right? So you never really know with this kind of situation or this kind of, market that we find ourselves in. A lot of anomalies, let's just say that. But that's kind of the majority of what I am personally thinking. And I also want to quickly take a look at VIX, which is still definitely finding a lot of issues, to rally. But once this market does fall, once SPY, in my opinion, falls out of this, I think the VIX will look for a beautiful bounce from here as well. TSLQ as well, you can see looking a little bit bearish here short term. I do want to make that very clear, short term. So this looks like it does want to reverse. This is looking like a reversal signal right here to me for sure, which makes it come back down. But again, as it comes back down is where I think Tesla will make its way back up to the 170s, potentially as high as 180, but that's a little bit, in my opinion, ambitious, but somewhere into the 170s for sure. At least I'm, pretty confident. And then I do believe that this will most likely come down somewhere around this level as well, maybe like 50, close to 50. And then almost likely get a bounce. Tesla most likely get a rejection somewhere around 175-ish, we'll say on average, and then make its way at the very least back down to 160, if not to my ultimate target of 146. But that's kind of the main thing I'm looking at, ladies and gentlemen. The last thing we will look at is, of course, the weekly, which is just, of course, not very good looking, quite hideous, and of course, closing at a level that we haven't in quite a while from over here. And there's a lot of room to the downside to, again, that 145 level. There's a lot less support and weight, if you will, down here. So just keep that in mind. But that's just kind of what I'm seeing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Hopefully I'll see you guys on Monday. Like I said, Monday is my actual moving day. Hopefully I'll have everything set up and I can make a video for you guys, at least, somewhat quickly. Might be a little bit late, might not even be a video entirely. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll go with it as it comes. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you hopefully on Monday. Peace.